No dice. This isn't working. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't see myself on here either. Oh boy. Oh wait. Oh, I'm back online. Okay. Alright. Sorry, y'all. Anyone who still can't see me, refresh. Alright, yeah. Thanks, MCD. Thanks, Oren. Thanks, Boy Dreamer and Spurtman and Grill Artist. I don't know what happened. So, here's what we got to do. We had 2 bugs, so that was 2 bugs to fix. One is this weird speed chase tile component not defined bug, and 2 is the save/load not refreshing the workspace bug. That was an unneeded detour. Yeah, I know, because everything I've tried to do so far has been a detour from the last thing. Hey, Smooth Dog, I'm back. Yeah, let's set override back to like 0.05. No, that's too slow. 0.1. Oh, it needs to be times delta time, so we need to say 0.16, I guess. Something like that. Either way, this isn't reproducing. So how do we figure this out? Could this have to do with network latency at all? E.g., something blows you up before artillery lands. Is that possible? We know this was a bot though that died, and it was moving. Weird. Alright, and then how reproducible is this even on the server? Like if I deploy a bunch of artillery bots, let's trash all this. So if I deploy artillery bots and then I put these here and let's just give them regen and thrusters, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. So I deploy a bunch of these. Do I ever see this bug happen? Okay, the people who are online right now on Botland, do you guys mind just deploying the artillery bot with artillery, the pre-made script? Wait, also get rid of the can move at the bottom. How about this? Alright, here's what the script should be. I'll just paste it into chat. So, paste bin. Yeah, if you guys don't mind putting this in. Yeah, so here's the script. So try this out if you guys don't mind. It'll move in a random direction. You can put missiles on if you want. I don't think it doesn't matter so much. And yeah, just deploy a bunch of those. Because I don't know how this bug happened. I don't know if anything's even there. Yeah, so if I just looked at this from a pure, like, inspect the code, try to figure out how this could possibly happen perspective, then I end up with this. I was in here, and I got the entities. There was an entity here, it was a bot, and it was already dead. So when I try to do... Oh, wait a second. What about this? Chase down components at length is greater than 1. So if they have multiple of these, get rid of all of them other than the last one. So we go through all of these minus 1, and we do reach destination, remove component, chase tile component, update. Okay, so that could have caused us to hit a landmine and blow up. So this could have caused us to be dead. No, that can't be true. Alright, so but then we get here and we do get component chase tile. So there's no knowing if we had 0 when we were here. But when we got here, we definitely did not have it. And then, yeah, how did we get into that state then? How did this think that we had it when we didn't? Okay, let's take a look at setup entity system. So we need chase tile components in order to get there. The only way we get rid of them is if we had too many, and then we remove all of them except for one. And reach destination is where we remove the other one. Remove chase component. And we don't return from this function until we do update on the entity ID. Yep, so that's all fine. The only other place we remove them is if we dispose the bot. That script is effective? Oh, cool, alright. Yeah, I wonder if there's... I wonder if this will repro at all. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the thing that shot me had thrusters. I really should have saved that. Yeah, it's too bad I didn't. I don't know if this will even happen again. Alright, yeah, this is probably pointless. Or you can stop deploying those bots if you want. Where else could this be removed? Where could we remove chase tile components? There are 3 locations. One is when we get a new one and we already had them, then we remove all but the newest one. The 2 is when the entity owning the CTC reaches its destination. And then the 3rd is when we dispose an entity. So if I had a local repro, yeah, I'm so gamer. So if I had a local repro, I'd be able to reason about this better. So then I guess strategies are either 1, obtain a local repro, or really any repro. Like this could have had to do with something totally different from this stuff. And 2 is code inspection. Well, and then I guess there's another strategy, which is add better logging for later, so that if this shows up, I know what happened for sure. So I think those are the strategies I can use here. And I think I should have taken, wait, we have a screenshot from back then. In fact, I might have taken one. I didn't, but I know for sure that Spurtman took one. Where's that IM? Oh, cool. All right. It's like right at the top of my log too. So there were landmines. It could be landmines that did this. Landmines, I see, okay, so I see landmines, reflect, artillery, and missiles. Landmine, reflect, artillery, and missiles. Let's just get all those things in here. So yeah, let's go into client constant. We'll get landmines, laid mine. Yeah, this, mines and missiles. Alright, so let's activate that too. Mines and missiles. And we want a reflect bot, I guess. Cloak and reflective. Can cloak, cloak. Can reflect and reflect. Okay. So now we have mines, missiles, reflect, artillery. Alright, done. Now let's run this in a simulation for a long time. Whoa, what's going on over on? Alright, there we go. Yeah, so here we go. We do this. We set it so that bots get put into the arena very quickly. And maybe we encounter a problem here. I think for sure that if we were going to encounter a problem, this would probably do it. In fact, we can also really hammer my CPU right now and do debug main simulation server.arena.tick time equals 500. So now everything will go very quickly. We may or may not come across a bug here. Maybe the other thing we do too is make landmines last even longer, in case those are the problem. Are there any bugged bots in the arena right now? Anything that's set at 0 life that isn't being killed? No. I get to deploy my own bots too, I guess. Let's deploy the RD artillery bot. Let's just do, let's deploy a whole bunch of these. Alright, that didn't find any issues, so let's deploy a mine layer bot. Landmines and thrusters. Thrusters might have had to do with it for all I know. Whoa. Alright, update equals function. If can lay mine. Move. Can we paste this in at least? Good. So let's deploy a whole bunch of these bots. So we got hundreds of landmines now. I'm still not seeing any issues. Like, we'd know if there was an issue because we'd see errors print out here. We don't have any, but we'd also see a break-in. We don't see that happening either. So either we just haven't hit the scenario that happened on the main server, which is summed up by... Where did that tab go? Did I close it? Yeah, here. So we just haven't hit whatever happened in here, which I find very strange. Or can't happen here, which could be possible. Could be that this is a network thing, and it has to do with how messages are sent and delayed. But if that were the case, then we'd be able to repro this by doing this. We'd be able to do botline game server run. I come back and I see this. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a bug. Then on the game server, we try producing random AI bots. I've been running the main server all day and haven't seen it. Actually, that's a good point, Orange Ray. Yeah, so that's more information for this. Alright, so here's another fact. This did not happen to everyone, just some people who were connected. It could mean that being inactive does this. Orin, you have Safari, right? You were saying that there was an issue a while ago where in Safari there's some inactivity issue. I don't know how it happens though. I imagine like the WebGL context is lost or something along those lines. So this doesn't actually have to do with this, it has to do with something else. I still don't understand how that could cause a problem here. Firefox is where that happened. Alright, let's load up Firefox and see if this happens there for me. No, I've been idling all day. Let's see. We'll just let this run, I guess. Idling all day, so what else can be different between clients? When network messages reach could be different. Then, of course, there could be slight browser differences. Could mean that being inactive does this. It could be when network messages arrive. Maybe they're all arriving at once. What would that even do? Or could be something like an alert that's left open for too long. That's something I didn't think of. Although that wouldn't affect single player. But if you did have something like this, for example, you say set item to, whoa. And why does that happen? Oh, I actually think I know why that happens now. No, I don't. Anyway, if you say something like new variable, so this freezes the entire background. Then when I hit cancel, everything tries to catch up. So that could be the problem. Yeah, what if someone was just typing in a variable name and there was an alert or something was broken in the debugger test? But that would have to be on the main server, I think. So we deploy these artillery bots, and then I'd say something like set new variable, and I'd take a really long time coming up with a variable name. You can see artillery just shoot across like half of the arena right there. But that's to be expected. Any other way where this could happen? Oh, actually, when you're resizing, that same sort of thing happens too. So then everything looks like it's fine afterward. I don't know what to do about this. In your test, randomly drop 1 out of 1,000 messages. So lost packets can't be. Well, I guess what you're saying is like, yeah, TCP will redeliver them. But I know for sure. So if I were using UDP and I lost packets, I need to make sure that the information gets communicated again somehow. But thanks to TCP, everything's going to arrive in order, and it will arrive, or it'll disconnect. I'm not sure what to do about this. I don't think I should keep spending time on it for right now. I'll leave that open, but I'll try to figure out how to tackle the other problem, which I'm still having a problem with too, the whole save and load issue. So we've got this here. The only thing we need to do now is call XML text changed. Oh, and I think by doing this, we introduced another bug somehow where you can't type into JavaScript anymore. Oh boy. You know, the shields work all went pretty great. I guess you can't do everything smoothly all the time. Yeah, I'm back up to typing up here. So what did I change that might do that? It's not in the arena. It's not here. Maybe we just check these things in. I feel like they should be there. So yeah, let's check them in. We shouldn't be updating dead entities. Take out the speed override. Good. Yeah, so let's check in just this. Potentially fix the bug where chase tile component could be null on, could be undefined on bot index by chase tile. I don't totally know how this happened, but it was discovered in pre-beta by Bertman and myself, so 2 separate instances. A bot was marked as dead and was still being updated, but it didn't have a chase tile component, so attempting to access its speed caused an error. I don't know if this fixes it. Okay, what next? So we're trying to figure out how else we could have just broken this other aspect, which was wait a second. This .state.test. Yeah, this I think needs to be done away with, and then this needs to be done away with. Alright, that's fine, but then we still have a problem with... Oh yeah, every time we, oh I think this is it. If we even put the code input state here, we're going to get issues where the botline app gets recreated every time code input changes. Yeah, and that's what's causing this to fail now. So if I refresh this, it's still gonna have that bug. Yeah. Alright, how do I solve this? So code input state, simply by having this here, any change to the code type in JavaScript will cause Botland app to get reconstructed, which will force the code inputs cursor to the top. So we would need a way. Yaki says, let's say if this were not Node.js, would you think it'd be easier to spot the bugs? No, I don't think so. One of the iterations of Botland I did was in Java, and I think whenever you're dealing with a bunch of, when you have a client and a server and something can go wrong on either one, it just, there's a lot more surface area to test. Like if this only ever, if let's say this was a large Node.js code base where, I know that sounds stupid, but that it was just a single player game, I think it'd be much easier because I wouldn't have so many variables. I have so many variables now though. There was, first of all, it only happened to like 2 people out of 5 or 6 who played today. So there was that. There was, it doesn't happen consistently. It only happens on the server, I think. The server is being uglified. There could be a bug in Uglify that changes the code and does not produce exactly the same. I doubt that that's the case. I bet they have very extensive test cases. Anyway, this is another problem. I don't know what to do about this exactly. I need to get the code input state, which means I need to dispatch a message. But by having this map state to props, oh, I have the dispatch though. I could probably, no, I can't. I can't take state in here. I can't do this. I need some other way to get the code. Which is this. I need to get this some other way. How else can I obtain this without using this .props? I would need the entire store somehow. I have the dispatch, but the dispatch isn't helpful. This .props.dispatch. Let's put a debugger there. Let's close out of this. Let's run another giveaway. I don't know why I even did that. Yeah, I'm sorry guys, this has not been a great day for coding. Okay, so let's do this. We hit the load button. Or no, the save button, I guess. Oh, darn it. That was stupid. Incredibly stupid. Because now we've overwritten what we had in our local storage. Alright, well whatever, let's take a look. Do we have... Wait, what? How do we get dispatch? This .props.dispatch, okay. So we gotta close out of this. This .props. Do we have the store by any chance? We don't. Takes an action. So this is bound with get state. We don't have a get state. This .props. Yeah, we don't have any sort of get state function, which would be nice. I could pass in the store, but that's not how this should work. I really don't know. Is there... Let's look at React Redux. Is there a map state to state? I don't know. That doesn't make any sense either. Map state to props, map dispatch to props, merge props. So map state to props takes in state and then own props. State props. If specified, the component will subscribe to Redux store updates. Anytime it updates, map state to props will be called. Its result must be a plain object, and it will be merged into the component's props. If you omit it, the component will not be subscribed to the Redux store. If own props is specified as a second argument, its value will be the properties passed to your component. And map state to props will be reinvoked whenever the component receives new props. Wait, what? That last part, if own props is specified as a second argument, its value will be the properties passed to your component. Oh, okay. So, I don't see what the use of that is. The last part of that, own props. I don't know what own props is for, but let's move on. So map dispatch to props. If an object is passed, each function inside it will be assumed to be an action creator. An object with the same function names but bound to a Redux store will be merged into the component's props. If functions passed, it will be given dispatch. It's up to you to return an object that somehow uses dispatch to bind action creators in your own way. And merge props specify to pass the result of map state to props, map dispatch props, and the parent props. Huh. Pure equals true. If true implies should component update and shallowly compares the result of merge props. Wait, the ref. Yeah, I'm not sure. But what I guess I don't understand here is just by having code input state, this screws up. And that's because when you modify the code, it's emitting actions for set code input code. But then why would this change? I'm not using code input state anywhere. That's the part I don't understand. So what I think is happening, there's no way to tell if a shell is inbound in there? Is there? Oh, no, there isn't. And that probably won't ever be the case. The whole point of artillery is not necessarily, well, not the whole point, but yeah, we don't want you to be able to avoid artillery that you see about to hit you, because chances are everyone's code at the very top of it would say, if I'm about to get hit by artillery, move out of the way, because it does a lot of damage. So much artillery. Yeah, I'm not sure what I can do here. Alright, let's try this out. I'm gonna see when I modify this state, is it really reconstructing a Botland app? So I have Botland app here, and I have, let's close that. I have a constructor. So when I do this, and I type any character, no, that's not happening. What's causing this to happen then? Code input? Is code input getting reconstructed every time? Constructor. No, it's not. What is causing this to happen then? On change, set code input code. So that's getting hit. Sure. Put this over here. And when I'm done with this, I dispatch, what, the entirety of the code? Yeah. and this goes into set code input code, which goes through all of my reducers. So current reducer. Yep, so here's our temp reducer. Temp reducer doesn't care about this. There's going to be an action, but the action's type is something, yeah, set code input code. The only thing that actually cares about this is this, right here. And so we set it, we have new code, we're done, and now we need to handle, where is this done? We return the state, and then what we should do is, yeah, listeners, oops, darn it, that screwed up. Return listener. Store has been updated, latest state. So that's one subscriber that we have. Another subscriber should be in React Redux. So what about this one? Yep, connect, here we go. And we're gonna go push this through everything that we have. Alright, so one of those subscribers must have been something that man. Will you ever be able to set the bot name in code? Yeah, that's something we should talk about. I don't see a problem with that. Well, I do see some problems with that, but yeah, there shouldn't be a huge problem with that. You set it in your init function. Will we allow people to set their bot's name in code, e.g. in their init function? Alright, so where else can I put a breakpoint here where I can figure out what's going on? That one's not helpful. So on change we have set code input code, then I guess we're getting back into render. That makes sense that we get back into render because we changed something, so we press like space here, it gets back into the render function. But then the cursor changed, it changes back to this. You know what we could do? We could save the cursor information too. But then we've got to save like a lot of different things. And the only reason this came up is because we put this state in the botland app. Did not think a save button would be this hard. Like the actual lines of code to do it are pretty simple, but then it comes up to this wacky bug. Okay, so we try this now, and I guess typing works fine. Yeah, so it's a problem with having this in here. So, alright. Oh, it'd be awesome to have custom bots and already have the name set. Yeah. I think it would be cool. And I think we could just something like that. Andre says, so I might be losing my mind, but I think when I changed my hardware config and didn't rename the bot and redeployed, all my bots go to the same hardware. I think when I changed my hardware config and didn't rename the bot and redeployed, all my bots go to the same hardware. I find that strange. So let's try it. We don't have hardware, and I've got Atom13531, and it's set to move, deploy. Then I change my hardware config and I deploy it with thrusters. No, this one does not have thrusters now. Yeah, I don't think that's happening. I don't know for sure though. So there are a couple different ways we can solve the plot. I still don't totally know how to solve this, but can't have code input state in botland app, or else code mirror loses its input location. So solutions, save the input location and any highlights probably in Redux also. I deployed a few bots with the wrong hardware, missing reflect, added it to my new one, and I think the old one started to reflect. There's a lot going on, so I might have been mistaken. Yeah, let me think about this. So, creating a bot, modifying other bots. Yeah, I don't think it's possible, because what happens is when you create a new bot, it's serializing your slot configuration into a string and sending it over the network. So already any reference to an old slot config or something like that is not even a problem, because it's a new string that's being sent across, and then that string is being deserialized into a slot configuration on the server side. So yeah, save the input location, find another way to get the code inputs code from Botland app. 3 is stop even attempting to get code from Botland app. There could be another component. E.g., it could call into main, for example, which is really stupid, just really colossally stupid. Is it stupid? Maybe it's not stupid. Maybe the courage was within me this whole time. Just implemented physics for the wrong game. It's beautiful. Why'd you say for the wrong game? Also, it does look pretty good. Okay, this idea, this last one isn't so crazy. So we could do this. Asteroids don't work like that. How does it work? Oh yeah, you could be facing one way and sliding in a different way, I guess. Alright, so what if we called into main for this? So these button handlers were being done by main. That could work. Yeah, that could work. Alright, let's do that. So copy this, delete it all, get rid of that. Then in here, instead of save and load, we do this dot props dot on. What was this to save with the load button? On save to local storage. Yeah, and then we'll say here, oh no bind. And then here we'll say this dot props dot on load from local storage. So then we need to pass these down, root.js, yeah, so on save to local storage, on save, and on load from local storage. So the main.js needs to pass these into root. On save to local storage. Good, and load from. Alright, so we have our save to and our load from code. Save to local storage and load from local storage. Actually, we do have events passed in. Alright, so then we're saving this stuff, and instead of props, whatever, we're doing something like store.getState.whatever other nonsense we're putting in here. Bot config reducer, I guess. Bot config reducer .xml text. So we do the same thing here. Wait, except for that's not what we called that. It's Blockly reducer. Okay, same thing here, and then code input reducer. And then instead of bound actions, we need to dispatch very particular ones. Which we can do that, so. This does this code end up being better in the end? I have no idea. So we're going to dispatch these things. So we just need these 3 things being used, probably up here. Okay. And this, I don't know, let's try it out. And 3:30 a.m. Can't believe it. It's so late. Alright, here we go. Let's put zap, zapper, and zap, and then save. And now if we look at our local storage dot JavaScript code is zap, our bot config is zap, and our blockly is zap. We refresh the page, we go back in, we press the load button, and something happened. Store.dispatch, oh, that's not how you dispatch things. This is how you dispatch things. Yeah, I am a bit discouraged. I don't know. I feel like the last 2 hours was bug after bug, and I wasn't making progress with any of them. And I am apparently still not making progress with this one. So I'm not totally sure what to do, but like that other bug that happened where it could be due to server inactivity, maybe I could say I might have fixed that, maybe it went away. But this particular one is like, this should be so simple, and in any other paradigm, I'd know what I was doing enough to know, okay, I press the load button, it loads in. And the thing is, it's half working. So if I hit the load button here, we don't see anything here, but as soon as actually, even if I did this, I guess. No, that doesn't work. Well, anyway, as soon as I reopen this, like, there's Zapper. So the load button is kind of working, I just can't get this to refresh. And I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. And like, my brain isn't even letting me think of this right now. So I'm supposed to somehow call into this function. I don't totally know how I do that. And that's coming from bot config. If we could just figure this one part out, I could leave today feeling like nearly done. Yeah, log it, sleep on it. I do think that's a good idea. I've got 15 minutes left in the stream, so I'm gonna do my best to try to make some progress. I mean, it's not like I can regress anything. I have everything in Git. So worst case scenario, I'm exactly where I started, which is not worse than where I started. Yeah. So what we need to call is this: XML text changed. How do we do this when we notice that there's a change? Well, we don't get told that there's a change. That's why this is happening. So maybe we do this. We just say this .xml text changed. Then every time there's a re-render, that won't work. I think this is going to cause an infinite loop. What's going on here? DOM to workspace. Oh, we can't call this until component did mount is called. Or we put something like no, this has to be after it mounts. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Component will unmount. Workspace dispose. This dot. Let's just set a global for now. Global dot test equals false. And then yeah, in component did mount, we say this equals true. Here we check to see if it's true, or well, if it's not true. If this is not equal to true, then we just return. And then in unmount, we set it to false. So this equals false. Okay, now it should be safe to call this. So let's try this out. Did that finish? I think I'm gonna go after this, even if this doesn't work. Alright, yeah, that time finished. I'll go get some food, get some sleep, get some more food. Oh, that actually did work. Huh. No, I caused an infinite loop. No, I was right. Okay, yeah. Or wait, did it? What just happened? No, yeah. I think that was an infinite loop. At least your guys' bots are working. Yeah, I'm pretty sure what's happening is this. I'm calling XML text changed. This is calling, well, some other stuff, which is, yeah, I don't know. Not sure if it would help since you're already loading and saving, but here's the post that prompted them adding that functionality. So my problem is squarely in how I'm supposed to use React. Although I appreciate the legwork there, Boy Dreamer. What's happening is, actually, here, let me show you. I can show you a pretty clear way of how to do this. So let's do global.override equals this. Alright, so watch this. Here's what happens. And why is that updating in such a weird way? So check this out. This finished building. I can refresh this. So what's happening is this. I press the load button, and now without updating anything over there, if I call override.xml text changed, look at that. Blam, this works. So I just need to call this function. That's it. I just don't know how to call this function when something changes. Like, it's just such a simple problem. That's why I'm so down about this, because it shouldn't be hard. Okay, I could think of something actually. Alright, I can think of a way to do this. Let's try this out really fast. Here's what I'll do. I'll make a new... Alright, I know what I can do. So in the bot config state, let's go into the reducer temp, bot config state, bot config, where is it? Here. So we're going to say something like refresh. We're going to set this to false. And when we get an action that's called refresh, we're going to set refresh to true. Okay, good. Then we're going to emit our refresh, and we're going to... So here, we can do something like if this dot props dot bot config state dot refresh, then we... Oh, no. We need to set this to action dot refresh. Okay, so then we do this dot bound actions dot... What am I doing? Let's make this here. Make a proper one. So set refresh bot config. Like, I feel like this is a really, really stupid way of doing this. But then again, I don't know enough about React to know, is this the right way? So refresh bot config. Let's do set refresh bot config. Refresh. Type this refresh. Assigning to state manually doesn't call render. Pass the function around. So you can't pass the function around because this is in a child component. Oh wait, or no. So then refresh. Yeah. In order for so I think the problem is, I know about passing these functions around. I think the problem is that I have a parent component and the thing I want to call is in the child. So usually you have something you want in the parent, so you pass it to the child, and then the child can invoke that function. But I don't have that same setup here. Anyway, let me try this. I don't know if this will work, but so we've got this refresh bot config, and now our reducers are going to need to use this. So we've got refresh bot config. We take the action.refresh. Okay, so now we should be able to do set refresh bot config to false, and this .xml text change. So there's that, and then in main we import set refresh bot config, and then we call this from our local storage functions. So store.dispatch set to true. Alright, might work. So when I press the load button, if this causes this to refresh, then, oh, we also got a throw error. That was kind of weird. What is this error? Invariant violation, set state cannot update during an existing state transition, such as within render. Render method should be pure functions. Yeah, okay, so I have a side effect in my render function, which is causing this to screw up. Okay, well, let's call it quits for today, and I'll think about this later. And maybe I'll come up with a solution for the other bug too. But yeah, I'll be streaming again on Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'll probably spend some time thinking about this tomorrow, I guess, while I'm not streaming. It's not like there's all free time. But thank you to the people who stuck around through the disconnect and then through a bunch of just Debbie Downer coding. Hopefully I'm more chipper on Friday doing this. So yeah, take care everyone.